You may remember me from my television shows in the 1980s and 90s, and now I host two regularly live streamed virtual magic shows. One is a showcase for some of the greatest magicians in the world, and the other is a talk show featuring some of the most inspiring conjurers of our times. Welcome now to Magical People. And welcome back, everybody, to this edition of Magical People Live. We have, in my opinion, and I know you may feel uncomfortable with me saying this, the incredible, certainly the entertaining Martin Duffy. So let's put our hands together for Martin.
Thank
Yay. I
you.
want to thank you so much, Martin, for joining us this day. And I know you're pretty busy. You've got an incredible schedule, and you were just sharing a little bit with me about what you have done and what you will be doing in the near future. We were just chatting off stage. I do want to bring this up a little bit. I was asking you if kids or younger folk in the UK, if they're much like North American kids in that, well, they'll go to Instagram or YouTube and, take a trick off. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's very visual. We all had to learn from books in our days. So there's a great advantage to video, of course. But I'd like you please to mention your response to that.
Yeah, well, we're very lucky where I live. I live up in the northeast of England, near a place called Newcastle upon Tyne, which is just below the border of Scotland, if you can imagine that. And nearby we have an actual magic shop. There aren't many bricks and mortar magic shops left, but 4 miles away from here, there is a shop called the Magic Box, and they have an enormous online presence as well. But it's a magic shop, and we can actually go in there, and we actually have our meetings there. The Newcastle Magic Circle, of which I'm the secretary, have our meetings there. And Graham Shaw, who is the owner of Magic Box, he has taken over a thing called the Neptune Magic Juniors, and they are children who are interested in magic, and there's monthly meetings. And we just had a magic convention last month, October, and they performed there on the gala show with some big name magicians that were at the convention. And yeah, but you're right. I mean, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, that's where the kids are going to learn stuff. But we encourage them to come along, show us some magic, and do it on. We'll have a stage at the Magic Box, and they get up there and they do it. And I know a couple of them at least are actually going out and doing shows. I see now and again a couple of them. They've got a poster, that they're doing shows, and that's amazing. It's really good.
Oh, it is good. That's exciting. So I'm going to bring up the cliche question. How did you get your start, or at least at what age did you start your interest in magic, Martin, and some of your influences?
I can't I can't remember the age, but I do remember watching a thing on the television, Ali Bongo, and I think it was called 5 Magic Minutes, and they used to literally a 5 minute thing, probably only 4 minutes by the time they put the titles on, in between programs. And I've got a feeling it was just the hands that you saw against the black background doing the magic. And I remember seeing the Hindu thread trick. I think that's its proper name. I remember seeing
Yes.
that and thinking, my, how the flip did that work? You know, that was one
Yes.
of my early influences. And then I remember watching Kreskin. We used to have Kreskin for some reason.
Yes.
It was about on an afternoon, early afternoon on the telly. And then David Nixon. He was on a Monday evening, 6:45, I believe. And then, of course, Paul Daniels and Wayne Dobson. So we've been looking, but in between all that, I was getting videotapes from America of David Copperfield. I had a friend in America, and they would send me over the tapes of um, his specials, before they were broadcast here, years before they were broadcast here. Um, so their influences, I've actually got a book here. We Do you have a program in America, over there in Canada or America, called "This Is Your Life"? Do you have that?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It used to run in the 60s, 1960s.
yeah.
It was an American show. But I know a lot of American and UK shows interlap. Sometimes, many times, American shows will copy UK shows and go with a new production there. But certainly, and so
What
do you
happened
have
last
your
year? Sorry,
ah,
what happened
wow.
last year? No, sorry, was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year. There was a thing on our program at the Magic Club, about the history of the Newcastle Magic Circle, the 60 years.
Wow.
And I went along, and the president got up and started talking about, not about the 60 years, started talking about somebody who combines children's entertaining, walk around magic, being a dealer, um, other things. And there's only one person in this club who does it all. And the spotlight was suddenly on me. And they brought over, well, they got me on the stage, and they gave me this.
No.
And
Oh, wow.
I was just
Wow.
totally blown away. I wasn't expecting it. And so I can maybe show you a couple of the things in it,
Sure,
because it
please.
kind of
Yep.
answers some of your questions as well. So let me just change onto this camera here. Now, I'm not large on the screen there, even though I'm on speaking of you. So hang on, view.
It looks very good. We can see it. Yep.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's still small on mine, but anyway. So here is some of my first appearances at a
Oh,
magic
wow.
convention. Look at that hair. Well, I
I
wish I
think
had
we
any
all.
hair now. I'd give anything for any sort of hair. But that was at the Northern Magic Circle annual convention in Harrogate that we went to as a child. This picture here is a few junior magicians. We were on a series called Magic Circle, which was, and that's me on the end there. I don't know who told me that a zipper cardigan and a tie would go together. Um,
And they
but there's,
do. They still do.
there's there's somebody in there. Bob Wooding is next to the clown. Bob Wooding is still a balloon person in this sculpt or whatever in this country, and I don't know what the other people are doing on there nowadays, I should say. And then we've got some early sort of, these are sort of newspaper article shots. Me and my sister. That was an award there that I won. Oh, and you might know that face there. Hang on, let me get this.
Oh, wow.
Ali Bongo. So he was at one of the
Yes.
early conventions, and I remember the photographer just grabbing my sister and me saying, "Would you pose for a photograph?" Um,
Mm.
so moving on a bit. So here's a we were talking about the magic convention that I organised, and there's some people on there. We've got Charlie Fry and Sherry, Sylvester the Jester on the left there. Um, oh, Scott Land at the
Wow.
back there. Scott Land, the puppeteer.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yes.
and then this one here is David and Danya, the Quick Change Act.
Yes.
Um, and this one is particularly relevant to me. This is Roy Walton. One of my signature tricks is card warp, and all the local guys take the mickey out of me for having this trick, being able to do it at every opportunity. So it was a real pleasure to meet Roy Walton, and say to him, "Thank you for paying my mortgage off," because that's what card warp did for me. Yeah,
Wow. You're talking about organizing conventions, the Magic Convention. I think you said 12 or 13 years. What an endeavor that is. I only know a very small aspect of that because a close friend of mine used to own a magic shop in Montreal and he organized Magie Montréal. It was called for probably 25 years or so. And that was so difficult. He had a partner named Mephisto. That was the guy's stage name. But wow, we all looked forward to that, not just locally in Montreal, but probably Canada and worldwide. We had world-class entertainers there. That must have been so stressful. Did you want to share a bit about that, about your
yeah,
magic convention organizing?
yeah. It came about in a weird way. across the river from where I live, there's an area called South Tyneside, and they have South Tyneside Council. And for a number of years, I've been involved with South Tyne Council doing magic shows, shopping centres, and Christmas light switch-ons, and things like that. In fact, we had a huge event on the South Tyneside are great with events. They have each summer they have 70s and 80s and 90s bands free in the park, pop concerts, free pop concerts, and it's amazing. So anyway, I got a phone call from the events team at South Tyneside Council 20-ish years ago, and they said, we've got a tourism grant to bring some money to spend to bring people into the area. We thought about having a convention. We thought about a magic convention. And I said, yes, what a great idea, right? And that was probably August, September time. And then I was turning up for a Christmas light switch on one night, and I remember it was pouring with rain, and I pulled him at the gates of the park to be let into the park. And I wound the window down. The guy said, oh, by the way, we've got that money. So this was end of November, and they want to do the convention in March. So, right, okay. So the local theatre that we have used since then, that first year wasn't available. We had to use a local community centre, and which had a stage. And I remember talking to Paul Daniels, and I said, Paul, we're going to have a magic convention. It's going to be in March. It's a month after the biggest magic convention in the world in Blackpool. And it's up in the northeast of England. Two major pitfalls. How can we make it work? And Paul said, you do the Vegas thing. Vegas was big names, cheap prices. So that first year we had Sylvester the Jester doing his first ever UK appearance, Boris Wilde, Greg Wilson, Banachek, Luke Jamay. I believe it was probably Luke Jamay's first convention as well. So that's what happened. Now, talk about the stress side of it. There aren't many magic conventions run by a professional events team, you know, and
Yes.
that's what South Tyneside International Magic Festival was. It was run by a professional council events team. So all that pressure was taken off me. All I had to do was look through I don't know, diaries, photographs, YouTube. Who would I like to bring to the convention? I was talking to you earlier about, you mentioned David Regal. I said, oh yes, we had David Regal. Max Maven, Richard Osterland.
Wow.
I can say there's so many. And I did that for 13 years. The event, the weekend was kind of stressful because it was all down to me on stage and things. But behind the scenes, it was all organised for me. The flights, the
Yes.
hotels, the contracts, and everything else. And there was a lot of stress on behalf of the team. But and it's just last month had its 20th anniversary. I stepped down after 13 years because I thought I'd done. I thought I've run out of ideas. I brought some new ideas to the convention when I first started, but it needed a fresh pair of eyes. So the first person to take over from me was John Archer, who I believe you may be familiar
Oh,
with.
sure.
So he
Absolutely.
he he was he booked the next year's convention, all the acts, and he did a great job because he pulled in favors. He travels around the world, and even before that, he was heavily involved in the convention, whether it was doing a lecture or doing a gala show spot or comparing the shows, and he would see acts from all around the world and suggest acts for me to book. So yeah, so this just last month, October, it was the 20th anniversary, and we've been told it will be going ahead again next year. So that's great. That's good.
Wow, that's something for everybody to try to catch if they can. And John Archer is brilliant. I love many of his effects, and I believe he was one of the first, if not the first, to win the Penn and Teller Fool Us
It
Award
was,
as
yeah.
well with a brilliant routine. Just brilliant. There's a lot of non-magicians in our audience, so we can't share the secrets necessarily to them, but just a brilliant, funny man, and actually funny man. I've got some of his videos as well, and very clever. Speaking of clever,
He's such a
Martin,
lovely, sorry to interrupt you, Michael, but he's such a lovely guy as well.
yeah,
Because he was very generous, sharing, the names that he'd seen. But like I said, the first year he organised the whole thing. He pulled in favours from all those people as well. And
mhm,
he's such a, I've seen him live a few times. I just saw him live at the IBM convention. I think it was September just gone. And he had the audience, the room full of magicians laughing their socks off. You know,
I
they were,
believe that.
he's such a funny
Absolutely.
guy and clever as well. And, to
Yes.
be a comedy magician, you've got to be good with comedy, you've got to be good with magic. And he is perfect.
Absolutely. I want to share with our audience as well a video. It goes back to 1991. I hope you're happy with this. And an appearance on a show called Robson's People. So let's all have a look at that.
There. Alan, have you ever seen anything like those before in your life? Be very, be very careful how you answer that, all right?
Right.
They're actually, do you know what they are? The red noses. Did
Oh,
you
red
see?
noses?
Yes, yes. Did you see red nose doing? Everybody was wearing
Yes,
these,
oh yeah, yeah.
Well, what don't you do is just move your hand there.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that one into my hand. You've got to grab that one tight for me.
Right, right.
Okay, very funny,
Right.
Alan, right? Open your hand, open your hand. I forgot
Yeah.
to tell you it was my fault. When
Right.
it touches your hand, you grab it tight, and I forgot to tell you to turn your hand over.
Oh, okay.
It was my fault.
Right, sorry.
So when it touches your hand, grab it tight, turn it over. Okay, there's, right, okay.
Right.
There, you nearly broke my finger that time.
Right.
Keep it tight. Have you got it?
Yes,
Can you
I've
feel
got
it?
it. I've got it.
Okay. Do you think I can make it disappear from there?
No.
Got no faith. It's going to disappear from there, and go into here. Keep it tight, lift it up to your mouth, and blow. Did anything happen there?
No.
It's when mine disappeared. Open your hand. I don't believe that. What happened there? That went the wrong way. That was the Things are moving by themselves, aren't they already?
That's not a program. Right.
That went the wrong way.
Oh.
So how did you blow?
Well, I blew pretty hard.
Just blow gently. Try it
Oh,
again.
that's it, right.
I'm going to tight. As soon as it touches your hand, right, grab it tight. Tight.
Right,
Turn
right,
over.
right.
It's going to be more difficult. There's the second one. Blow on there. Blow on yours. No, open your hand. It's still going the wrong way. Look, let's try your other hand. Try the other hand.
other hand.
It could be that hand, right?
Right.
Okay, take the two from me tight. Turn
Right,
it over.
right.
Because I've got 3 of these things, right? There's the third one. Would you like 3?
Well, yeah,
Okay,
go on.
right. Blow on there. Blow on yours. I've got none. You'll have 3. That's enough. Look, you not open your hand. There we go. Now, I'm going to put that one away. How many does that leave?
2.
2. Just 2. If I put that one into there,
Yeah.
put this one in my pocket, how many's in here now?
1.
Blow. It's too hard, you blew it away. I'll show you how to do it very slowly. Or very quickly, I should say. We'll run out of time. 1, 2. I'm going to do it slow but quick. 1,
Right.
2,
Yeah.
3, 4,
Right.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did you see that?
That's
I did that as
brilliant.
slow as I could. Thank you.
That is brilliant. Quit looking. Don't encourage it.
Joanne, right, Joanne, tell you what we're going to do. We've got some cards here, and I want you to choose one. There you are, right? Right, what you're going to do, take it and fold it like that. Fold it and crease it, okay? And I'm going to take this one, this is the King of Diamonds, and I'm going to fold this one the opposite way like this. Now, you have to watch this very, very closely. Okay, I'll take that off you. You had the 7 of spades, didn't you? I know, because I gave it to you, right? Now, look, there's the 2 cards, right? That card there goes up and down inside there like that, but nothing happens, okay? And then that one goes up and down inside there, but nothing happens to that either. Now, I'm going to start off with them both face up. I've got the 7 of spades and the King of Diamonds. Now, watch very closely. Watch the King of Diamonds. See it here? As it goes through. See what happens? It turns face down. It's going in face up. It's coming out face down. There's the 7 face up. There's the King now, face down. There's the 7 face up. There's the King face down. It goes through face down. As it goes through, it turns back face up. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this trick. With applause. Or without applause. Hold your hand up, please, for me. And we'll just keep that there. We'll fold that the opposite way now. And we're going to take this one, we're going to fold this one the opposite way as well. And what we're going to do is very slowly, okay? Put them back in their original shapes. But remember now, there's a fold around here, okay? And remember, there's a fold around here. So we start off again with them. Both face up the 7. So is it 7? 7 and the King. Now, when I push the King through, you know it's going to turn face down. You don't look too sure. You do it. You push it through yourself. Just push the King through slowly. Just stop there. See what happens, look. This end's face up. This end's face down. Now, it looks impossible, doesn't it? Roy, hold that end, please, like that. Keep tight to hold. Could you keep hold of that end? Keep tight to hold. Just move gently between you. That is 1 card, isn't it? It's not 2 cards, is it?
No, just 1 card.
Are you enjoying that? Is the earth moving for you? Keep tight to hold. This end's face up, this end's face down. It looks impossible, but I'll show you it's not. Keep tight to hold, don't let go. There's the 7, which was face up, which you can have a look at. You've got all the bits. This end's face up, this end's face down. If you can find out how to do that, will you tell me, because I haven't got a clue. Thank you. Thank you.
Martin, get yourself up here, sunshine. The thing is, you told me that every single magician has a glamorous assistant, and where's yours then?
Do you really want to see him?
Yes,
Him.
Him?
There, look.
Oh, good heavens.
He looks almost real, doesn't he?
He does.
This is Henry.
Hello, Henry.
Would you like to see Henry's trick?
Henry's, yes.
Henry does a card trick. Now, to do the card trick, he needs his magic wand. So look at him, looking at the camera. He's a right little poser, isn't he? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wand on there, right? And he's going to use the wand, and he's going to do the...
Yeah?
He needs the wand, you see, so don't touch it, okay?
Sorry,
right? It's okay, right? I'm going to use the... Did you see it? Hang on. Well, no, it doesn't want that. It doesn't need that. It doesn't need that. Right. Look, what we're going to do, we're going to shuffle the cards up. You didn't know you used to work in a casino, did you? Look at this. It's nothing to do with the trick. It's just showing off, right?
Right.
What I want you to do is I'll flick through the cards. You tell me when to stop.
Right. Stop.
Okay. And I won't use that one, 6 hours, because I've seen it. Take the next one.
Okay.
I'll turn away. There's
Okay.
no monitors. I can't see anything. Show it to
Right.
everybody. Okay. Make sure everybody sees it. Okay. And then hide it again. Now, did you look at it yourself?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you didn't this afternoon,
No,
did you?
I
Right. He didn't see it, did he?
Oh, you might have done.
Oh, he cheats, you know, but never mind. Put it back in there.
Right.
Right, okay. And we'll shuffle them up.
Right.
Now, Henry's going to find your card. He
Right.
does it by reading your mind.
Right.
He's the world's only mind-reading rabbit.
Right.
What you've got to do is look into his eyes, think of your card. He's going to read your mind. He's got red eyes, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm talking to the rabbit, Alan.
Oh, that's right.
Right. Right. He just read your mind. Did you notice it didn't take him very long? It took him longer than normally. You had to find it first. Right.
Right.
Hold your hand out.
Right.
Hold it there.
There.
Don't move it. Keep
Right,
it there.
I won't.
Henry's going to take out the card.
Yes.
He's going to drop it into your hand.
Right.
If it's the right card, they will all clap.
Right.
The poise ready to clap. Are you ready, Henry? Are you ready? No, no, I'm here. Look, I'm over here, right. No, right. Here we go.
Right.
Come on, we're running out of time. Shuffle them once more.
Right.
Right. Are you ready?
Right.
Henry?
I'm ready.
Right. Henry, take out the card. Take out the card. Take one out. Give it to Alan. Give it to Alan. Don't need it. Give it to Alan. Give it to Alan. That's better. Right. Now, what was the card? It could be any old card. What was the card?
The card was the 4 of clubs.
I bet he's not only found it, I bet he's signed it and written a message on as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, you were a natural for television, Martin. You knew exactly which camera to play to. And at the best of times, the spongeball routine, spongeballs are tricky to do at the best of times, but it worked for television without giving details away. Your angles were incredible. I'll just say that we couldn't see as either lay persons, non-magicians, or magicians. We couldn't see what was going on behind the scenes. And as most of us know, the camera is cruel. So if any of you have tried putting stuff on YouTube, you're going to what we call flash. You did not. It was flawless. I'm not just saying that to be nice. It was absolutely, absolutely
Thank you very much.
amazing.
It's funny that watching it back, even then, there was some of the cuts, you know, that sometimes the when he opened his hand, the balls, you didn't see that were coming out of his hand, and oh, they should have done that better. And at the end, the thing with the card, it actually had end of part 1 written on the card, but the camera wasn't close enough to see it. So I was quite pleased with it. But the problem with Alan, the guy that was presenting it was all pressure. We had somebody behind the camera, you know, and we had to like move on. And he was trying to say things, and some of the things I was saying were being cut off by him saying something. But yeah, okay, as long as you liked it, good.
It was wonderful. I think you're being overly self-critical. It was awesome, and especially the handling of card warp. It's an effect. It was probably the second, or rather, you did card warp, and then the bunny did a card effect as well. Your handling for card warp was impeccable, and I loved. Only magicians will know what I'm talking about. You kind of supposedly showed the other side and continued. That's a move I've never seen. It might be part of the original routine, but regardless, it was brilliant and very deceptive. You have, and I did peruse your magic site online, a beautiful, what we as magicians would call a loadable. And I actually did this. And you'll all excuse me for a moment as I get this. Like you all to check that out. There's Teller, and he's holding the smaller one, I believe you had custom made for him. I don't know if the larger one is also yours or not,
Yeah,
but
they're
look at the
both fine.
quote.
Yeah.
Wow. Look
What-
at that
what
quote.
This just arrived this morning, this testimonial, Um, te- Going back a little bit, Paul Draper is an American magician, and he was doing during lockdown was doing a Zoom magic show, and there was some big people watching it. Copperfield were watching it, Penn and Teller were watching it. There were some other non-magic, very important people watching the Zoom show. And after the show, Paul Draper messaged me and said, "Oh, by the way, Copperfield was asking me where I got the loader pot from." So about half an hour later, a little thing pinged up on my phone saying visitor from Las Vegas on your website. So I was like, woo, because I've got a magic shop online. So and then 10 minutes later, visitor from Las Vegas has placed an order. So he'd ordered 2 of the pots. So I sent them off to him, and a week later, I got a message on the app, the parcel app, to say it had been delivered. So I messaged him, emailed him, and said, "Did I see it's been delivered? Is everything okay?" And the email came back, "Call me." David Copperfield
Okay.
says, "Call
Wow.
me." So that's what I did. I called him and I said, "David, it's Martin Duffy. You got me worried here. Is everything okay?" "Oh yes," I said, "it's just I wanted to let you know how wonderful they are, and I also want to tell you why I ordered 2 of them. I wanted one for my home, one for my office, to remind me of the beautiful routine that Paul Draper did with the pot." And I said, "Oh, that's nice." Now this was during lockdown, so I said to him, "What are you doing? Because you can't be performing." And he told me he just bought a library, a collection from an English magician who I didn't know. He said, "By the time I've combined that with the John Mulholland library I've got 1,800 duplicate books. So I've got a huge operation going on here." And I was on the phone for about 10 minutes, which was a huge thrill for me. And then a few days later, he did an online review of Paul Draper's Zoom show. So I thought, I've missed a trick here, if you pardon the pun. So I emailed Mr. Copperfield. I emailed him and I said, could I ask you for a testimonial? Could I ask you, maybe for a photograph of the pot?" Email came back, "Call me." Have you noticed it's me calling this billionaire magician all the time? Doesn't spend anything on call charges. So anyway, I rang him and he said, I can't do it, but I'll tell you why. I wanted to explain why. Everything I do, everything I touch, people ask me for a testimonial for." He said, I did a review of Paul Draper's Zoom show. I shouldn't have done it because as soon as I did it, all the other Zoom shows I've watched that said, "Can you do one for me? Can you do one for me?" So he said, I can't do it, but I wanted to explain why." And I just thought, well, that was lovely. That was really nice. So just last month, Teller ordered a Lota pot, and he got it and he loved it, and we exchanged some ideas, some routines, and he said, "I wonder if you could make me one this big, like half the size." And I said, "I'll have a word with my potter." And anyway, I sent it to him earlier this month, and it was a surprise for me. He wasn't expecting it because I didn't say he would definitely we could definitely do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it arrived, and he sent me an email saying, "Beautiful, wonderful." Then this morning that testimonial came, and I thought, well, that is just, the
Wow.
2 biggest magicians in the world, Copperfield and Penn and Teller, have both got one of my pots, and they both love them. So there we go.
That speaks volumes. Did you have it handy so you can perhaps
It just so
show it
happens
to
I've got some
everyone?
here.
Ah,
What I'll
let's
do,
have a look. Let's see.
I'll move this back and I'll stand up and I'll move the camera. This is a routine I do. Um, One of the things that I do, I go into schools and I do magic shows on a theme, on an educational theme. And this is one that I do for my environmental magic show. I open every environmental magic show with this particular trick. So I'll go into performance mode. I'll try and hold them up here where you can see them, okay? So this is a story about Indians, American Indians. They lived in a village. In the village, there was a medicine man. The medicine man's name was Grey Wolf. Whenever the people had a problem in the village, they'd go to see Grey Wolf. One day they were worried about the rain. The rain had stopped falling. The crops were dying. The animals were dying. The bowls of the people held little water, and soon there was none. And so they went to Grey Wolf and asked him when once again they'd feel the cooling rain of Grandfather Sky. And he said, when I know, you will know. And he went to a place to dream. And he acknowledged the four directions, the north, the east, the south, the west. And to take him closer to Grandfather Sky, he placed an eagle feather across the rim of the bowl, and he closed his eyes, and he began to dream. And he dreamt of clouds, dark clouds, rain, much rain. When he opened his eyes, he removed the eagle feather and wondered if Grandfather Sky had given him a physical sign of his vision. He had. And so I went back to the people of the village and told them what he'd seen. And soon the dark clouds started to gather. And once again, the rain came. And the people could fill their bowls. And that, my friends, is a story of Grey Wolf. So then I go
Wow.
on to ask the children about water shortages and saving water, etc. And there we go. That's the routine that I do. Paul Draper has a totally different routine that he actually did in the on his tour when he was in the UK just a couple of months ago. But what the thing that I like about the whole thing is the pot is empty after the first pour, and then it's full again, and it's full again, it's full again.
Yes.
And that the second time, well, I should go back. When you empty the pot the first time, the second time you pour, it gets gasps. It gets gasps because that was an empty pot, you know. And I've been fortunate
Absolutely.
enough to have some nice routines put together in a booklet so that when people buy it, there's 3 or 4 different ideas. And in fact, Charles Schneider has just bought one, and he said he's got a lovely idea for a routine that he's going to let me have, and so I'll be able to include that in a future publication, you know. And Teller told me about his routine for the little one, and I haven't asked him yet, but we'll see.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's say folks want to get in touch with you or order the Loda pot or bowl, as we sometimes call it. What is your website address?
It's martinduffyMagicShop.com.
Excellent. Excellent. And now I'm motivated, oh dear, to buy one. I don't know if I can do justice with the same kind of routine that you did. However, as always, we do our best. I want to thank you so much for joining us this time, Martin. I know that you have quite the busy schedule, but nonetheless, it's appreciated that you did join us this time. And hopefully, you'll come back in the new year as well. Would you?
I'd love to. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for everybody who's here.
Thank you so much. I'd really like us to all put our hands together for the great Martin Duffy. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Martin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I want to thank most of all of you out there. Um, at this point, this technically marks the end of season 5. I don't believe we've done 5 seasons, not always concurrently, but in total. And next week, same time, as I like to say, same bat time, same bat channel, we're going to start our season 6 with a lot of surprises, some brand new guests as well. So I hope you'll be joining us next time for Magical People Live. We'll see you all very soon. Thank you.